Hi, I'm Peter Wasserman. I'm really happy to be here with Keeper Collection, and I'm going to answer a few questions that a lot of people have asked me about champagne. So let's get down to the nuts and bolts here. How is champagne made? Well, the grapes are obviously picked, they are pressed, and they're vinified, i.e. they go through alcoholic fermentation. That is fermentation number one. Then you can go through a second fermentation, which is called malolactic fermentation. And here, everything is permissible. You can go 100% through malolactic fermentation, or just partially through malolactic fermentation, or no malolactic fermentation at all. And this is going to have an influence on the acidity of the champagne. And finally, when you're doing a non-vintage, you basically use the base wine, which is a portion of what comes from a particular year where you've picked it, or that year where you picked it, with the addition of wines that have been kept in reserve. And that's what a non-vintage is. There's two ways, essentially, of keeping the reserve. One is keeping every single vintage separate, or you could use a big barrel, for example, or a big tank, and add portions of each vintage, and then draw on that big vat and use that as the reserve wine. That is called a solera. Now, once you've done alcoholic fermentation, and then you've done malolactic fermentation, you then have to proceed to a third fermentation. And it is an alcoholic fermentation, and it occurs in the bottle. And this is really what creates the carbonation in champagne. It's this third fermentation. Because when yeasts eat the sugar during alcoholic fermentation, that's really what happens. The byproduct is carbon dioxide.